Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. I've talked with you previously about managing your weight. For example, I gave a talk called Better Than a Diet on YouTube, and you can also find the transcript of that by Googling Better Than a Diet and Nemko. But those talks and articles were in standard form. They were basically just an annotated list. Well, some people learn better when advice is embedded in a context. Therefore, here is a little composite story. Dee was prone to sadness and frustration, and one way she responded was by overeating. Also, when something good happened to her, she often rewarded herself with food and wine. However, Dee wasn't naturally prone to being fat. Indeed, when she ate the 2,000 calories a day, which is break even for her height and frame, she wouldn't gain or lose any weight. But too many days, she consumed 3,000 or more calories, so that by age 30, she was 25 pounds overweight. Dee continued to rationalize that she was still a healthy weight and didn't want to capitulate to fashion model norms. But at age 32, now 30 pounds overweight, her doctor tactfully suggested she lose weight while she was still young enough to lose it with relative ease. So Dee decided to push aside the rationalizations and lose the weight for health and, yes, because she wanted to look attractive for both professional and personal reasons. First, on a piece of paper that she attached to her fridge and one on her kitchen cabinet, in fat red marker, she wrote why she wanted to lose weight. Look sexy, no heart attack, no diabetes. You see, her father died of a heart attack and her mother has diabetes. She promised herself she would take those notes down when company was coming. Dee made a point of reading it aloud with expression, so it really penetrated, every morning and every night to keep those thoughts top of mind. Dee knew that part of her problem was impulsivity. Without thinking, she'd grab something yummy that was fast. And so she reminded herself that when she was thinking about getting something to eat, breathe, think, then decide. She did that when she was tempted to snack and when she was eating a meal. No longer hungry in the middle of that meal and deciding whether to keep eating, for example, rationalizing, oh, I should clean my plate, or it's too little to wrap up, I'll just finish it. Dee threw out the calorie-dense foods that she found tempting, nuts and cheese. It's just too easy to grab a 300-calorie handful of nuts or take a couple of calorie-larded bites out of a cheddar cheese brick, neither of which would even begin to fill her up, yet would use up quite a chunk of the 2,000 calories she's supposed to be eating, even if she wasn't on a diet. The 2,000 calories she should be eating if she weren't on a diet. Dee moved the low-cal items that she most liked to eye level in the fridge and cabinets, and those included peeled baby carrots, salsa, and tomatoes. She gave herself a wine rule, that is, 2 or 3 glasses a week whenever she wanted, but no more. Dee knew she was particularly at risk of overeating when she was eating out, so she promised herself no stopping at the pizza by the slice joint or other fast food place. And when she was having a meal out with friends, she would allow herself just one piece of bread instead of 2 or 3, and she'd order her favorite menu item that was relatively low calorie. Plus, unless it was a very low calorie entree, if she could muster the restraint, she'd ask the waiter to bring a doggy bag along with her entree and would, before she started to eat, put a quarter, maybe even a half of it in the bag. She motivated herself to do that by saying to herself, not only am I going to save calories, I'll have another good meal for free. Alternatively, when she started to feel she's now eating in the middle of the meal, in just a moment of strength, she would grab the salt and pour it on her food to make it inedible. Dee used the Apple Health app. It's also free in an Android version called Samsung Health. So Apple Health is also free, by the way. That's the app on her phone, and she used it to track her weight loss, but also it tracks her exercise and her sleep. She shared her progress or lack thereof in a given day with friends to increase her motivation. She did that, of course, on Apple Health. She even used Apple Health's mindfulness sub-app to stay grounded. She didn't, however, enter all her food intake into the app. It's just too much work. She felt that as long as she stayed mindful to eat relatively healthy, it would work out. And indeed, Dee lost 5 pounds the first week and then averaged losing 1.5 pounds each week for about 20 weeks, thereby reaching her target weight in less than a half year. And fully aware that most dieters gain it all back and more often. Dee swore to herself that while, yeah, she could allow occasional cheats, she would weigh herself daily. And if she gained more than 2 pounds from her target weight, she'd have to go right back on her diet. That potential punishment kept her on the straight and narrow. And Dee kept off the weight, seemed to get more respect at work and more attention from potential romantic partners. Okay, this composite story embeds these major tips for weight loss and maintenance. Prominently post your core reason or reasons for losing weight. To lock that core motivation in your brain, read them aloud with expression morning and night. To avoid impulsive eating, as soon as you're feeling tempted to eat, whether at home or passing your favorite restaurant or fast food joint, breathe, think, then decide. Of course, sometimes you're going to want to eat, but by making each decision consciously, you're more likely to eat only when you're not hungry, rather than until you're full, let alone stuffed. Important. This all applies when you've already eaten some food and are no longer hungry, yet contemplating whether you should eat more. Purge your home of tempting, calorie-dense foods and replace them with healthy ones that you like, placing them eye level in your fridge and cabinets. Don't deprive yourself of eating out. Just be a little better. A little less bread. Order your favorite entree that is not overly calorific. And if you can muster the restraint, ask the waiter to bring a doggy bag or one of those plastic clamshell things or whatever when you're being served, and move a quarter, maybe even a half of the food that's on your plate into the bag before you start eating. Yeah, I know that's a tough thing to ask you to consider. I can't make myself do that, to be honest. Or when you're starting to feel full, at a moment of strength, dump a lot of salt on your food to make it inedible. I can sometimes do that because I only need to be strong for a moment. Such moderation can also be applied to alcohol. Set what you think is an appropriate limit for yourself. Be especially careful, very careful with marijuana. It is, of course, legendary for causing munchies that are hard to restrain, and it's not munchies for carrots. Health apps such as Apple Health and Samsung Health can be useful for tracking your progress, not just in weight loss, but with sleep and exercise. Also, if you wish, those apps can invoke the power of peer pressure. Feeling proud of yourself with your friends if you're losing weight, a little embarrassed if you're not. Most dieters, as I mentioned, gain all the weight back and more. And it's understandable that after you've reached your target weight, you might be tempted to reward yourself with food and to relax your eating discipline. A way to avoid gaining the weight back is to weigh yourself every morning and promise yourself that you will go back on the diet if you gain more than 2 pounds. All right, now picture yourself at your ideal weight and picture the benefits. I wish you good luck, of course. I'm Marty Nemko. Thank you for watching. Feel free to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down, share, comment, subscribe, whatever. In any event, I am Marty Nemko. Thanks for watching.